In this video, we go check out the new Captain America movie. Let's go. Well, it's a very cold day out here, but had to see Cap 4 on its opening day. There's been a lot of speculation and just trying to see. My boy Marvel, it's his credit, he has predicted that there's going to be something to do with adamantium and an end credit or mid credit scene that has to do with the Weapon X program or some kind of tie in to X-Men and mutants. We'll see about that. If that's what happens, I am doing this spoiler free. That's just our prediction. If that's what happens, I apologize. That's not the intent here because I don't know what's going to happen. I'm about to go see the movie. But if it does come true, that's going to be epic if he nailed it. So props to him. But let's find out how this movie goes. All right. Hello, YouTube. Axioman here once again, and went to watch Captain America 4, Brave New World. My take on it is this. I give the film a 7 out of 10, which is a pretty solid score in my opinion. I put it along the lines of like an Ant-Man 2 and an Iron Man 2 and 3. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, not in my opinion anyways. I've been rewatching some of these films, some of these older films. It feels weird saying older films. They're not that old. But if you've been watching the MCU from the beginning, you kind of get what I mean. And I've been appreciating them a lot more. Not to say that I haven't rewatched those movies, time and time again, but just recently, I guess because of the new phases of the MCU and kind of the disappointment that I felt about where the direction of the MCU was going and how it just felt lackluster. So I've been rewatching some of the older golden age, to use a comic book reference, golden age of comic book movies within the MCU, and I've been appreciating them and liking them a lot more. So that said, this film felt like one of those movies. A solid movie, not as good as a Captain America Winter Soldier, or maybe even a Guardians 1 or a Civil War, depending on how you rank MCU films. But it was a solid movie nonetheless. The storyline was a little bit shaky at parts, but the action sequences were top notch. 100% awesome. My only nitpick on those were the new Captain America, Sam Wilson, is more of an Air Force guy, and so is the new Falcon. And I'm an Army vet, so I appreciate the Captain Rogers, the Steve Rogers take on Captain America because he's an Army guy. So this is very personal nitpick and complaint. Well, I'm gonna like Steve Rogers because he's an Army guy, and and he does this thing. Whereas Sam Wilson, the new Falcon, they are doing a lot of aerial shots and they're doing a lot of Air Force things, and you can see it throughout the movie how it shifts from a more of an or less of an Army thing and more of an Air Force thing. To put the cherry on top on that one, the new Falcon actor, I forget his name. Sorry about that, but he also came out in Top Gun Maverick. So I'm like, wait a minute. So there's a lot of Air Force or more, flight aerial things. And those scenes are awesome. But nonetheless, that's just one of my things. One of the biggest problems in the movie is the bigger MCU storyline. What I mean by that is that there's so much to this MCU timeline at this point, with all the films and then the Disney Plus shows that came afterwards. And this film in particular does tie into the Falcon and the Winter Soldier Disney Plus show. So as you're watching the film, if you didn't watch that show, there can be a lot of elements that you're like, wait, what? And although they try, in my opinion, they try well to tie it in, I can easily see how someone can say, wait, what? What's happening here? So the film suffers for it. Um, we got accustomed to watching the films, the movies, and now we had to get accustomed to also watching the Disney Plus shows. So if you didn't watch those, then of course you're gonna lose track of what's happening in this film. But that's not just this movie's problem. That's kind of the MCU as a whole for a casual viewer. If you're someone like me and you've been watching this from the beginning and you follow everything and anything, well then yeah, it's not a problem. And yet my statement still stands. Of course, it's going to be an issue because people are going to want to watch the films, but not the shows. And now that this timeline has gotten so out of hand, if you will, then it's going to make an impact on the viewership and the enjoyment of feature films. It's just what it is. It's the nature of the beast at this point, unfortunately. The Red Hulk scenes were amazing. I'm not going to spoil on where and when and how it comes out. This is not even a spoiler in that respect because we've already seen the hand on the in the poster and him throwing the shield down, so we know he's coming. Uh, those scenes were very well done. There was a lot of scenes, not just in that particular sequence of events, but just the story overall felt anticlimactic, and I can't get into it because this is a spoiler-free review. But there's a lot of things that could have they could have worked out better. The villain was different. I liked it, but I can see why a lot of people might not like it because it's not what they're expecting. To each their own. I liked it because it was different, but I understand those that will naysay it. It's one of those things, but that's okay. A solid movie. For any talk about Anthony Mackie and Sam Wilson taking over the mantle of Captain America and over Steve Rogers, the one thing I will say is this: one of the best comments I've heard so far on the internet is that the worst part about this movie is that we are losing an awesome Falcon in order to replace Captain America. That sentiment is felt by me too, because we have come accustomed to seeing Sam Wilson slash Anthony Mackie, the actor, playing Falcon. I mean, in Endgame, that's the first line that's delivered when they come back from the blip. When Captain America is, stumbling with a broken shield and the tunnels start opening and he hears on your left. And if you were part of that theater experience, you know that that's when everybody just lost it. So there's such a connection with Sam Wilson as Falcon that it's not that we don't like him as Captain America, or at least in my opinion, it's not that we don't like him as Captain America. It's just that we've gotten so accustomed to him as Falcon, as as a badass character that that's to go back to what I said at the beginning. That's kind of like the only bad part about this is that we lost him as Falcon. Not to say that the new Falcon, I liked him. He he was he has his own personality. He's, in my opinion, he's witty. He's a little bit of the comic relief. I kind of like that. And yeah, so that's all I'll say on that part of it. Overall, I had a lot of fun going to the movies, seeing an MCU film, putting a smile on my face, doing a little bit of cheering, being on the edge of my seat, and then getting an awesome end credit scene. Awesome might be debatable. I think it was because I see the future of the MCU based on what I saw. Maybe you're not, maybe you're short sighted. Now I'm being a little bit insulting, but oh well. Yeah. It's YouTube, it's the internet. But if you're a little bit short-sighted, maybe you don't see where that end credit scene or what it was hinting at. That's okay. You'll see. And maybe I'm wrong. Who knows, right? But well, I guess we'll all see. That's it for this video. As always, collect what you love what you collect. I'll see you guys in the next one.